I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laakson.
I am Francisco Cerundolo,
and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Bottle of rum. Come on, here we go. It's the Q&A GTL Christmas time. We're just after Christmas, unfortunately, but we're here to answer all your questions today. I can't wait. I'm excited. I've been out for the evening. I've had a few beers. Probably no better time to do it. Do you agree? And JG's got his Christmas hat on and everything. Look at this. Santa's come early.
Well, one thing I would say, Ben, is I'm a little bit disappointed. You've not even asked me on a Q&A. You've not asked me a big question, and that is, how was my Christmas? Is it because you don't care?
I think I've spoken to you probably so many times over Christmas that I already know. But I'll ask you for the benefit of everybody else listening, JG, how was your Christmas?
You haven't actually asked me off air how my Christmas was. You spoke about everything but Christmas. And we know what Ben's like on the channel. With his dodgy predictions from time to time. He's also a little bit of a Grinch when it comes to Christmas. He's not big on it. He complains about giving presents. He complains about all of the food. He complains about the songs. He complains about every single part of Christmas. But we did get him out here today without the hat. But next year we'll get him a hat as well. And this one is the Christmas Q&A. And my Christmas was great. As most people do know, and Ben included, I love Christmas. I think it's a great time of year. I've spent it eating loads, drinking loads, and of course, spending time with family. So I couldn't have had a better Christmas. Hopefully, everyone listening has had a great Christmas as well. And this one, as Ben said, is just after Christmas. So it's not Boxing Day, is it? It's the day after Boxing Day, the 27th of December in the UK, almost midnight. Thank you for all 23 people who have joined us live. We have probably about 40 questions before. However, I'm assuming we're going to get quite a few more in the live chat. So hold fire on your questions for now, because we're not going to be reading them out. There will be an opportunity to give live questions in a moment. But what we have already is some questions from our GTL patrons and members. And we're going to start with them ones first.
Yeah. I know you say that, well, December, you're so happy for Christmas to come along, JG. I just normally am quite down. The tennis season sort of ends for me, and I'm disappointed when it's not around, when there's no tennis around, no competitive tennis. I know we've got this World League stuff going on. For me, playing on a yellow tennis court isn't actual tennis. That's, I don't know what they're doing with that. I think they need to change that for the future. Until tennis starts again, I feel that life just gets put on pause, unfortunately. And that's probably why I'm a little bit of a Grinch around December. I feel that I'm just sort of waiting until tennis kicks off again. JG, just happy, just running around in the snow, playing, making snowmen. And I'm just sat there in the corner, just waiting until the next tennis ball is hit.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Ben did do his Christmas shopping this year on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So that just says that says everything about Ben and how much effort he puts into Christmas. Does all of his shopping on Christmas Eve. But we do also have another Grinch in the live chat. It is Kathy. How are we doing, Kathy? Saying, I too am a Grinch. Christmas has lost its giving meaning to commercialize.
Well, that's the thing I prefer more is I prefer, like, I don't know, giving presents to, like, the whole, when everyone's like, what do you want? Well, I'm like, I don't like all of this, like, trying to tell people what you want. I feel like you should just go out and just get people what you think that you want to get for them. I don't want to tell people what I want for Christmas. I'd rather just people just get me something. If they think of something, great. If they don't, it doesn't matter.
So you'd rather have things you don't want?
No, I don't want any. No, that's what I mean.
Rather have nothing.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't bother me. Like, that's what I mean. Like, when you get to a certain age, you just sort of like, unless you've really, like, you saw something, you're out and you're like, oh, that's quite funny. And I think that might make him, like, smile or that type of thing on Christmas Day. That type of thing, fine. But don't just get me something for the sake of it. Like, there's no point. I don't like, that's why I agree with Kathy. Commercialized Christmas, I don't agree with just giving for the sake of giving. Like, I feel that there should be some thought process behind every present.
And on Christmas Eve, when you were scrambling around the shops trying to find some last minute gifts, or in your case, any gifts at all. Was there a lot of other people doing the same thing?
Yeah, not as many as I thought that there'd be, but that's probably due to all of the train strikes and everything that's going on in London at the moment. But yeah, I just thought I've got to go out and I've got to actually spend some time actually going around some shops and just finding something. I can't just go in, I don't know, local supermarket or petrol station and just go and pick up a box of chocolate. That's just not. What's the point? I'd rather give nothing than do that.
Okay.
So I went and got something that was worthy of a present instead.
Anyway, I hope you had a great Christmas. Hopefully everyone else had a great Christmas as well. Ashley and saying just savage. Lyle, Ben shopping on Christmas Eve. Joseph, not a big
standard.
fan of Christmas at all. And Gary and saying this is why American Thanksgiving is the best. It's the antidote for Christmas commercialism.
Well, then let's start off with, I know that we've got a lot of questions to go through, and I know that this is something that I want to pose to the live chat, but also to you too, because I know that it's something, it sort of divides a few people at Christmas, and I know that we've already sort of spoken about it, but I want to hear your thoughts live on air. Christmas cards. Like, do you think there's any point in them anymore? Do you like sending them or receiving them?
So I know why you're saying this, because I've been digging you out, calling you the Grinch. And that is the one thing I just don't understand. Like, I don't think there's any need at all for a Christmas card. I think it's not good for the environment. It's completely unnecessary. Nobody ever keeps a Christmas card. They go straight in the bin afterwards. There's no purpose to a Christmas card. I mean, nowadays, either give the person a call. If they mean enough to you and it's possible to see them, of course, it's difficult if people live overseas or they live a long way away or they're unable to travel. Give them a call. If not, meet them face to face or just drop them a text. I mean, what's the need of a Christmas card? That, for me, I don't see any point. Of course, a lot of the older generation, sort of my parents, maybe not so much, but my grandparents, certainly, they love Christmas cards. I just think it's pointless, a waste of money, bad for the
I
environment.
just
and
think it's
completely
part of the
unnecessary.
decoration, though, of
No,
like
it's not.
like a
It's not
house. Like
needed.
when they get, like, there's a lot of people like to have like a, say, a mantelpiece or like a dresser
There's no
filled
point.
with
Donate to
Christmas cards.
charity. I'd rather donate to charity or an e-card you can do now. Send a card via email. There's plenty of other options. There's no need for a card.
But
I think. Listen, I'm
is
glad
your grandma going to receive an e-card? Is that what you're saying?
No, I won't give her a card.
Oh,
She'll give me a card, and I say to her, "I don't want a card. Don't send me one
do you not
next
think
year."
it's nice though? Like it's like a keepsake. Like
No,
for,
it's not, because
for
my grandma bought me a card, and it's in the bin at the moment.
well, that's what I was going to say. Like when people like pass on, like and stuff like that, and you've still got like that card and stuff like that. I like to have like cards from maybe like people who did send me Christmas cards when I was younger, but are no longer with us and that type of thing. I don't know. It's just like a little keepsake. Sometimes there's some nice things written in there. It's in their own handwriting, that type of thing. It's not just done on like just a computer, that type of thing. So I don't know. I'm a bit old fashioned. I quite like a Christmas card, that type of thing. I even like it even more if you make your own Christmas card. That's pushing the boat out a little bit further. That is a little bit more personal.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit like our tennis opinions. They differ massively. And I'm happy to not be on your side of the fence with this one. But let's get into the questions, because we've been talking for far too long already. Thanks, everyone, for joining. We are going to get into the questions. And first off, should we go to your ones first? Because Ben's got a lot on the Discord.
Well,
and I think we'll probably start with Kathy's. I think we've got to.
Did Kathy like ping one in on the? Kathy pinged the same one in as Jean, so I know it was on the community. So bear with me 1 second, and I'll pull it up because I didn't because it was on the community. Kathy, I know that you sent one in. I really do appreciate that one. Let me just isolate it here, just so that I've got it. Bear with me 2 seconds.
Sorry, I thought you had them all up.
No, but I didn't include that one just in case because I thought you had Jean's one there. So
well, we
that's
can
all
start
right.
with Jean's then if you want.
That's all right. No, that's all right, mate. That's all right. I'm quick on the.
Yeah, so Kathy and Jean did ask exactly the same question. So let's start off with this one. This is from Kathy. It was written to us today, and it is this. So I want to know how much closer, if at all, are they to be able to run the channel full time and leave their day jobs? or at least one of them. How do their partners feel about that goal? Although that's personal, and I don't have to answer, of course, or they don't have to answer. I get exactly what you mean there. So, do you want to answer first?
Well, which bit should we answer first? Like, how much closer have we got? Or answer the first bit. How long will it take? Well, I feel like it is going to take considerably longer. I mean, everything with YouTube, it's up to a point like where they sort of have control of how much you earn and that type of thing from YouTube. So we would probably have to be hitting like close to like 250,000 subscribers, I think, maybe even more than that. But
No,
it's like
not
an
for me.
algorithm. For
Let me answer my way, because
Go on
I don't
then.
think subscribers mean anything.
They don't. But
Subscribers is nothing to do with it at all.
well, it is a
Ultimately,
bit.
the only, not really, because we're never going to, the YouTube ad revenue, just for those who don't understand it, that is not going to be the way we will ever make it full time on YouTube. That reaches a height. Of course, you can get to great lengths
Mr. Beast.
and do very well, like Mr. Beast and other people,
Yeah.
or anyone with sort of million subs, like them real big channels.
Yeah.
But for us, our big goal would be to get to 100k subs. I think that would be possible. Then maybe we could be able to do it as a full-time job. But the main thing is just getting enough views on our videos and having enough members and patrons.
That comes with the subs, though. You got to realize it's like an algorithmic thing that if you get to a certain number of subscribers, your videos start appearing more on searches, and then you start gaining more views based upon your subscriber count. So it is sort of like a snowball effect. They only allow your videos to be viewed once you do start hitting the algorithm more, and the more subs you get, the more algorithm hits you get. I guess that's the way.
Yeah, the big way would be the Patreon.
Yeah,
Patreon,
for
we'd
sure.
have to about 20 times as many patrons as we have at the moment. That is the benchmark. If we can get 20 times as many patrons as what we currently do, or even 10 times, and then everything else to do very well, e.g. more members and more views on the channel, then we could do it. How do our partners feel about it? They've been very supportive of the whole thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can only speak for mine because I don't know what Ben's partner is involvement in it all. But from what I do know, she is very supportive. But mine encourages me a lot, always helps by allowing me time, because, of course, the biggest thing what this channel was taking away is time. So she provides me with that time to be able to do this. So I'm very thankful to her to allow me to do as much of this as we do, because it does take a lot of time. Because you've got to realize we do our day jobs. When we're not doing the day jobs, we'd be doing podcasting. It doesn't leave much time for family or a partner.
No, you're totally correct there. I mean, hit the nail on the head. We were lucky to have two very, very understanding other halves who literally, like, I mean, well, obviously I'm living with my girlfriend and I have to nip off, like, I mean, constantly. And obviously when I'm having to create things as well at the same time, that doesn't even come into the other part of it as well. You've got to think. And then family, that comes after all of that. So you try and squeeze everything in. I think I see my family, bear in mind, my family live like an hour and a half away. I think I see them maybe once or twice every 6 months, something like that. And they're not even that far away, but it's just time limitations are crazy. And yeah, I'd love to see them more, but it's just the way it is at the moment. And hopefully when we get to a bigger stage, we'll be able to allow us more time. Obviously, with no day jobs, we would be able to go and see our families and our friends and do all these other things a lot more. Would we? Or will we put more time into the channel? It's hard to know. That's the thing. It's a real crazy thing, because as soon as the success happens, it just drives you more, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a really good question, though, Kathy. Thanks for
Cheers,
asking
Kathy.
this. Of course, we are getting closer and closer each day, but it's a very, very long way away still. But I've never been as optimistic about the channel as what I am right now. I think we're in a really good place. We've got some great plans and we're heading in the right direction. Next question is from Almino. And we know Almino, big member of the channel, been around for a while supporting us. His question is, the favorite player to watch in the last 10 years, excluding the big four?
It's a really good question.
So the big four being Novak, Federer, Nadal, and Andy Murray.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite player to watch in the last 10 years, excluding them?
It was weird because when this came through, there was like a couple of names. I know that we've probably said certain players coming through. I don't know why my mind instantly went to obviously to the men's. You're saying favorite player to watch. Obviously, it's big four. We're all already thinking men's anyway. We should probably go for a women's as well. Instantly, I go for entertainment value. And I always go to Monfils. I don't know why. That is the guy that stands out in my mind as Mr. Entertainment. And I've never remembered a boring match that Monfils has really been in. That's over all of those years. And he always gives a good account of himself and always gets the crowd going. And I love somebody like that. The other, well, I won't say the other person. I'll let you say first, and then we'll maybe touch on some.
Yeah, because you might be taking my one if you say the other one.
Yeah, I won't.
But yeah, Monfils is a good selection. I think he's such an entertaining player. He's got all of the attributes to be an absolute world beater. It's just unfortunate he's not been able to do it on the big stage enough for me and not won the titles. I think too much flair rather than that winning instinct, that winning point. But still, it is extremely exciting. And if he didn't have that, you probably wouldn't have picked him. So you can't win everything. For me, my player, it's easy. The first name that comes to my head, Juan Martín del Potro. He retired this year. He is by far my favourite player I've watched the last 10 years who's not Rafael Nadal. I could maybe make a case for him being up there with Federer for me. Obviously, Federer was the player I really got me involved in the sport. The guy at Wimbledon when I was at school, watching Federer play there, winning all the titles. He inspired me so much to love this beautiful game. But then Juan Martín del Potro and Rafael Nadal was the others who really sort of drove me on. And I loved their style of play. I loved what they was able to do on a court. And Del Potro, I mean, the Grand Slams, the Masters events, he's done everything. He's played very well in big events, the Olympics as well. I've got some good memories of that. I know he lost to Andy Murray in one final, but still just an epic player, great game. He loved the sport as well. And you can see how much it meant to him when he retired this year, crying on court. So for me, it's easy. I'll go Juan Martín del Potro.
Yeah. I mean, I was very close. Like, I know I can see that some people are already saying the same name. We got the compliment king in and naming the other person I was going to possibly name. How are you doing, sir? Great to have you in. Stan Wawrinka. I mean, I was watching a video.
That's who Almino's hinting at in his question. He wanted us to stay Stan because I know that's who he would say.
Yeah, I mean, you can't not include him. He would be there or thereabouts. I mean, just that backhand, just alone, you have to include him. I mean, I'm surprised that it doesn't even come into my mind like Dominic Thiem for some reason, but Stan Wawrinka, the 3 slams, like that whole, he's just an incredible player. I was watching, even still now, that backhand just blitzes. It is an incredible thing to watch at ground level.
Yep.
So anyway, I think we've got our ATP ones out of the way. I mean, is there a WTA ones we want to go to as well quickly?
Well, because it's difficult to answer that
really
because he's not excluding the big four. So I can just say Serena Williams because she has been the player who I've enjoyed watching the most in the last 10 years. And I think if you say anyone else, you're kind of lying.
Not Raducanu?
No, not for me.
Well, I was going to say like one that didn't obviously win a slam, just so we're not talking about like all the slam winners. I'd say Jelena Jankovic. I think she was an incredible player, a world number one. Never got to win a slam. I think that she always deserves a little bit of praise. She sort of comes under the category, like Kathy's saying, for the men's, like David Ferrer. Never won a slam.
Ferrer as well.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean,
Dustin Brown.
Yeah, I mean, not quite. Great entertainment.
I've got great
value.
memories. I'll tell you that. Wimbledon against Nadal, that was a special match, and he's always going to be on most people's radar because of what he was able to produce with all them sort of volleys and drop shots.
I'll go more Joe Wilfried Tsonga probably. If I had to go another person on the ATP, he would be one that really stood out. But yeah, let's move on to some other questions. Have we? Oh, this was that was Kathy's one there. I didn't need to screenshot it again.
No.
Right. Okay. So we move on to this is some more Discord ones. So we got Jordan 94 in. Good to have you in again, buddy. Saying, what's your favorite part of Christmas dinner? This one has to go to JG for sure first, because we know he is the mukbang man on
No, I mean,
GTL.
how can you pick a favorite? I love it all.
I know.
I love
this
it
is why I
all.
knew it would be the best to hear from you first.
I think if it's a good stuffing, you could make an argument for it. But I mean, I'm a bit of a sucker for roast potatoes. If the potatoes are really nice and crispy, I think I'd probably go for that.
Have you ever cooked a full on Christmas dinner yourself?
No.
Or okay, like
Not able.
I was gonna say, how would you do your perfect roast potato? But yeah, if
I
you
don't think we're gonna
get...
have time for that. We're 21 minutes in, and we've got another 38 questions to go, plus the ones in the live chat. So
I'm gonna go with gravy. I'm sorry, but I like to drink all of my food. So if there's a sauce, if there's no sauce, and plus if it's getting a little bit cold, you can always a bit of hot gravy on top warms everything back up again. So
David in saying stuffing is so good. I agree. I'm surprised anyone agreed with me. I didn't think there would be many people who'd say that. So the next one we've got.
Right. So moving down, breakout player of the year, says Bo.
Well, we did it on our awards, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just, well, unless they didn't think that it was us actually picking it and they thought that it was being chosen. Breakout player. Maybe let's just think off the top of the head, just another person that is a breakout player of the year.
Well, it's Holger is the breakout player of the ATP for sure. Because if you're talking about breakout cup, someone from outside the top 100 coming in, I don't think there's anyone better on the ATP. On the women's, you can make a case for a few players, but we went for, in the awards, King Wing Seng.
Yeah, I'd say just throw another name out there, because just for the sake of GTL,
yeah,
I think Francisco Cerundolo had a great year. So I think that he got to the semi-finals of a Masters, didn't he? So didn't see that coming.
Next one.
This one is IV saying, what do you think of the outcome of the World Cup? Well, our football analyst JG will tackle this one straight away.
I'm actually very happy. I'm quite a big Messi fan. I'm really happy he was able to just get that one World Cup. He did win a Copa America a few years back, which of course big for him, getting that accolade with his nation, Argentina. Ronaldo won the Euros. I don't think it was needed to settle the GOAT debate. I think Messi was already the GOAT, and this wasn't necessary to tip it over. A lot of people are saying it was. I thought the World Cup, it started not in a great way, being hosted in Qatar in the middle of the Premier League season, but it ended brilliantly with some really good football, some great storylines and matches. A little bit disappointing in England, wasn't able to beat France. I felt like we played better than France and they were there for the taking. Kane missing that second penalty really just knocked the stuffing out of England.
Classic England. Oh, David liked that one.
It's just for the Christmas Q&A then once. But yeah, my assessment of it, I think it was a great World Cup. France actually did quite well in the final when they were pushed, and then Mbappe is just world class. But that's just my takes on it. I'm overall happy it was Argentina.
What final as well. I mean, I don't think any of us expected. I thought at 2-0 it was just going to be like this, a little snooze fest end.
I mean, it was just exciting. No one can say the World Cup wasn't exciting this year.
Yeah, it was really exciting.
And
I enjoyed it.
The BBC, we know when they started the World Cup, they were massively virtue signaling about the whole issues of the country, which I completely agree with, by the way. It's not right, and I'm not defending it in any way.
Yeah.
But they run a poll on their I don't know where, on Facebook or Twitter, they're on one of the social medias, and they were hoping that people weren't going to like Qatar. And they was like, "What is your favorite World Cup of the century?" There's like 95% voted Qatar.
Wow.
So the BBC, who didn't even show the opening ceremony and who were massively against the whole World Cup, was hoping people would pick another World Cup, but everyone ended up picking Qatar. And I think it was, for entertainment value and excitement, one of the best.
and wasn't overshadowed by violence from fans.
Yeah. And I think one thing we can take away from it is I know we both like a beer or two, but having no alcohol there just goes to show it can actually make football a lot better, a nicer place to be involved in with all the hooliganism. Look what happened in London at Wembley at the Euros. It was absolute carnage. All the fights, people trying to break into the stadium, stabbings. You didn't get any of that in Qatar. And I think the root cause to a lot of issues is always alcohol. You take that away and you have a good World Cup.
Well, and how strict your policing is as well, because if the punishment for like some sort of crime is like crazy horrendous, people aren't going to do it so much.
Yeah.
So that's what happens over there. Like the punishments are probably worse than the crimes. They don't, but over in the UK, obviously, you just put a slap on the wrist and then you're let out again. So that's why there's much more of that type of thing. But
I mean, we could do a whole podcast on crime in London because
let's not talk about crime. But I want to say an unsung like sort of hero at the World Cup. I mean, that I know Messi's getting all of the plaudits, but I thought Martinez, the goalkeeper for Argentina, should be getting much more plaudits for his story as well. I saw a lot of people who had been posting about, do you even realize where this guy came from? And he only managed to get first team football due to an injury from like a goalkeeper. Was it Arsenal?
Yeah.
Arsenal. And then he got into the first team, managed to play well a few times. Then he went to move, was it to Villa or something like that?
Aston Villa,
then he moved on, won the Copa America, and then you see him save the probably what would have been certain goal in the World Cup final from in the last minute, and then saves the penalties to win the World Cup for Argentina. I mean,
and he was instrumental in the penalty shootout with all of his S-housery. I can't say the full word on the channel, but he was really getting in the players' heads. I think he is borderline a bit too arrogant for my liking. I know you have to do that sometimes to win, but I think he's going to get a lot of enemies for the way he's been behaving post winning the World Cup, with all of sort of these dolls of Mbappe's face celebrating with it, humping the glove.
Salt Bay as well.
He's just been a little bit too cocky, but yeah, like you said, replaced Bernd Leno at Arsenal when he got injured for a few weeks, then took his opportunity. It just goes to show, if you're given an opportunity in life, folks, take it with two hands, because you never know. You could win a World Cup.
I thought it was incredible. I just to see how his like career like trajectory just went like boom from just one opportunity to get in the first team. But yeah, anyway, I think that sort of answers that. I mean, for me, I wasn't going to be that happy that for some reason because of the Ronaldo Messi thing. But by the time we got to the end, I thought it was just so incredible. I was happy that Argentina won it, to be honest.
So next question, Goldflakes. And if money was no issue, where would you be living right now? And what would you be doing? It's a great question. I think we get this question every Q&A.
In Qatar, would you?
And I want to know a place. Where would you be right now if money wasn't an issue?
Be in Australia, waiting, queuing up for the Australian Open. I'll be there on the centre court in the commentary booth.
That's a good answer. So for you, would you be wherever the tennis is?
Yeah, probably.
If money wasn't an issue, just get on a jet, your private jet from place to place, the top of the range. You get a box at all of the places. They allow you to do some commentary for Game to Love. They give you the fastest internet in the back room. You get to look out the window watching the tennis.
Sounds great. That sounds like the dream, that does. I think that's the way we felt a little bit when we were at Wimbledon. Imagine if it got to the point where we were in that commentary booth and we were able to just like bring this, and we were like a second commentary that people could choose.
Well, you've shown me up a little bit with your answer, because you've just shown that you're a lot more dedicated to tennis than me, probably, because I would not be following around the tour. I couldn't be bothered to keep traveling all the time. I don't like traveling. I get anxious. Holding my passport makes me anxious. That's why I had to bring a man bag when we went to Zagreb, because I need to have a look at it all the time.
Thing. You see, I had this little thing.
I'm not
it's
a good
not even
traveler.
A proper bag. It's like a wallet attached to a strap that you keep by. It's like almost like a holster. Like you could have a gun in it or something, but instead he's got a little wallet in it.
I would be in one of the most tropical islands you could possibly imagine. Maybe somewhere in the Bahamas, Mauritius, something like that. I would have a top of the range, air conditioned studio with the fastest internet where I can live stream all of the tennis I need. I'd have all of the matches on all the time. I would go out. I'd be drinking beers. I'd be wear shorts every single day. I may even do the stream with no top on from time to time.
So you may even do the stream. I was like, wow.
No.
He's really pushed the boat.
I'll just be there, like sipping pina coladas, walking around the beach, just vibing out. Maybe I'll do a bit of surf lessons during the day.
This is the thing, though, but I feel like
I feel like we'd be living a little bit different.
A little.
I don't know if I want to be traveling from place to place. I don't want to be in cities, busy cities. I don't think cities do it for me.
No,
there'll be times you'll be spending it in New York and London, and you're shaking your head, mate. That's where you'd be.
Yeah, but I feel that you seem to think in your mind that being in one really nice hot place for the whole year would
I'd
be
love it,
like...
mate. I hate the cold. I'm not like you.
No, but
I don't like being cold.
You're gonna see the same thing. Like there's gonna be like 12 people there the whole time because they're the only people who can live there. And you're going to go out, you're going to see those same 12 people on the same beach the whole time. You're going to be there in your little shorts, your little Speedos, going down there, going like, we got some new guests on the beach tonight. Who's coming in? We're going to be there.
I'm not going to be on an
isolated... there to play
isolated...
tennis with me? No, there's no one there to play tennis with you. No one
It's
likes...
not going to be an isolated island, Ben. And if I get
tennis
bored,
fan
I'll
island,
get on my yacht and I'll travel 40 minutes to
Wow.
the next island and go set up base
Who are you,
there.
Andrew Tate? What are you doing?
Listen, money's not an option. Did you not read the question? There's no... Money's not a problem.
I guess we would both probably just be on a yacht somewhere. Let's be fair, in the middle of the Atlantic.
Listen, you wouldn't be on a yacht because that wasn't your answer. Your answer was you're going to travel around.
You basically accumulated a yacht out of somewhere.
I think we know the truth. Ben wants to be Taylor Fritz's girlfriend and just live life like she does. Is that the top of it? Because she just travels around.
Taylor,
money's not much of an option.
If you're looking for somebody else, if Wolf and Taylor are looking for somebody else in the box, I'm your man or woman.
And MJ's insane. Isn't JG supposed to be in the North Pole? He's wearing a Santa hat.
Yeah, I think
too cold. So next question. That's a good one.
The equator, maybe just drop you on the equator or on the top of a volcano or something.
I think Ben's still struggling to understand the first part of the question with money not being an issue.
I still would just like to just be that all access, no holds barred in all of these places. Just being able just to do what you want wherever. That would be great.
Gary likes it. Being in one place, wearing shorts all day, every day is not half bad, Ben. I've got that going on already. God, Gary's living life. I'm jealous of him.
Where are you? In Barbados? Where are you, Gary? Come on. What's that picture? He looks very sunny in the background, I have to say. Right. I'm not sure what this last one is.
Is it true that I'm the favourite? No, it's not true. Next question.
Well, I think that's all I've got from the Discord. You might have to ping over to your ones.
So over to mine. I think we are probably missing some, but Ben had one job and he wasn't able to do it.
I filed through it. I don't know if anybody answered your post.
Anyway,
they've come through thick and fast since we've been in.
Here's my questions anyway. So, Gene. So in your two, we've already had this question, but we'll just go through it for Gene's sake. In your two honest opinion, what would you need the ideal donation goal for Patreon, the YouTube membership be for you to become full-time streamers? This is a little bit different to Caffey's, not that much different, but let me just clarify. We need the Patreon members to be up well over 100. I'm talking 200. I think about 250 to 500 Patreon members, and then we can go full time. So if we have so many subscribers, almost 50,000. If we was able to have, I'm going to embarrass myself with maths, 1% of our subscribers sign up to the Patreon, we can do it full time.
Yeah, we could. For sure.
1% of everyone who listens and who subscribed to our channel, if they signed up to the Patreon, we could do it full time. Which doesn't sound a lot really when you think about it, but it just doesn't happen like that. Our conversion rates aren't as good.
I feel that if you go to any YouTube channel and sort of have a look at their subscriber count to their like average view count, you sort of see that they could have 1 million subscribers, but all of their videos get like 100,000 views, and you think like, why are they not getting 1 million on every single? Well, it just doesn't work like that. That's sort of the amount of people who always watch your videos. It Grand Slams for sure. All of the 48,000 people suddenly start coming in, but the rest of the year, hard to get them engaged. So yeah, we need the Patreon.
Exactly that. Cheers for that, though, Gene.
Indeed.
Gary there also saying that he's living in Florida at the moment.
Oh,
well, I think that's where he always lives.
Hopefully, no bad weather there. I know that there are a lot of America having some terrible snow, aren't they, at the moment? Like blizzards, and seems awful. It's like minus 34 degrees, like Celsius.
Yeah, I can't imagine that being in Florida, but
no.
Yeah, shout out or
it's in shorts.
Shout out. When I say shout out, I don't mean shout out.
Shouting out.
Thoughts to anyone who is going through that, because it is shocking. I mean, I've seen people. I've seen the cars just like going down the road, just smashing into things.
Yeah,
it's pretty terrible.
Seattle, wasn't it?
Yeah, and some guy poured a water bottle out in the air, and as the water hits the air, the whole bottle freezes. I mean, from a science view, it's actually quite cool to look at. I recommend looking at that video. But Gene here with his second part of the question: what type of expensive stream upgrades would you like to have when all of these requirements are met? I think the ideal thing would be to have some kind of studio where me and Ben could go to, which isn't, of course, our home. Because as much as staying at home all day, for some may be nice. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, because a lot of people have a lot tougher commutes and work-life balances. It is nice to get out of the house from time to time. And I think it's good for your mental health to always be sitting in the same place. So if we could have somewhere where we could go to, I think that would be the optimal solution for the channel, to have the happiness and have the good content as well. Good balance.
Yeah, I was going to say, just for sake of having a laugh, maybe just create a couple of AI versions of myself and JG, so we can have multiple streams covered by myself and JG at the same time. Who knows? With the technology that's going on at the moment, we could have robotic Ben and robotic JG covering tennis matches. So no match is ever missed throughout the year.
Not a bad one. We've got Graham Hendricks, and this one made me chuckle when I saw it, saying, what are JG and Ben's morning routines?
God, I can't wait to hear your one.
Over to you.
Right, well, most
is this the truth? Right, before you answer, is this the truth or are you going to lie?
I'm going to go with truth just to save my work day jobs. Normally, well, it's tough to get up in the morning, especially in the winter, I feel. So I've normally got an alarm set. We're supposed to start work around 9:30. We are predominantly working from home as well. So I've got an array of alarms that start from, I'd say, 8:30 that lead all the way up till 9:30. And the first one goes off. That one's quickly tapped away and gone. Second one gone. Around 9:10 is I'm sort of now stirring. And then 20 past, I'm like, right, you've really got to try and get up now. Sometimes it hits the actual 9:30, and then I'm actually like, right, keep your eyes open and log on to your laptop. And I have to grab the laptop and just log into it while I'm in bed. And then the next half an hour, I will try and get out of the bed and make a coffee. And hopefully like by 10:30, I'm sort of like, I'm doing emails for the first like half an hour. And then by 10:30, I won't speak to anyone before 11 though. Don't set a meeting with me before 11 because I don't want to talk.
Nice. So for me, I think the most successful people in the world are those who wake up early. So I like to wake up around 5 a.m.
That is such a liar.
Often I'll go for half an hour to 45-minute jog. When I get home, I have a smoothie maker just in the corner there of the kitchen. So I put a lot of multivitamins, some of the papava. Is it? What's it called?
It's a lie is already exposed.
Just all of the healthiest fruits you could ever think about. I mold them all
Papava.
together. And yeah, when I do some of my cool down exercises in front of the rug in the
Is
kitchen,
that yoga?
I put the fire
you
on.
doing?
I just do a few breathing exercises, meditation while I'm sipping my smoothie. I then walk the dogs. I then come home. And then I have a tea, a shower.
Is that green tea? Can we specify the actual tea?
Yeah, green tea, correct then.
Okay.
And then I get ready for my day working, sitting bolt upright with my ergonomical chair and ergonomical mouse and everything ergonomical.
Wow. What an ergonomic guy JG is. It's great to really finally find out that morning routine doesn't consist of anything close to being a sloth. That's what
I must admit, it's really bad. I often miss breakfast and I do start my working day from bed. If I'm working from home, I'll start from bed. So it's terrible, not good for your back. I don't recommend it, kids.
No,
or
definitely
adults.
don't lie down and work on a laptop. It's like your neck will be in pain.
But not always. Sometimes I get up earlier, to be honest. If I've
Sometimes
got
he rolls onto his front and works, and then it really saves the pain.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think we'll move on. The second one's a lot more realistic, though. So the next one we have is if you had to pair the new commentators into teams of two, who would you pair with who? This is a brilliant question. I love it so much that I'm going to answer straight away. So we have quite a few commentators.
Yeah.
The big ones who were in the poll was Haman, Liam, Megan, and David.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure I do some pairs with all four of them. I think that's the rules. So you can pair them together, or you can pair them with someone else, or you can pair it with either me or you. So first off, the winner was Megan. Who do I think would bring the best out of Megan on a stream? This is difficult because I think Megan is extremely good on her own. It works extremely well. Like David, they work well on their own. They're good at filling in gaps. And they're very entertaining to listen to solo. I'm not saying they're not good together, but they do a good job. So it's difficult for me to pair them off. But if I had to, I would quite like to see Jonty and Megan paired up. Bring Jonty back. He loves a good chin wag and stick him on with Megan.
Interesting. Well, for me, it's easy. Like the first one that I would go with, because it's already been tried and tested, and I thought it was actually hilarious when we watched it, was David and Liam.
Yeah.
I thought that one was a great pairing, and both of them sort of don't take themselves too seriously. Yeah, there you go. And they both do impressions. They both like take the Mickey out of each other as well as they're going on, and all the other commentators as they're going on as well. There's impressions of every other commentator, I think, on that stream while they're doing it. But I think that I was thoroughly entertained by David and Liam's stream. So if they want to do any more streams together, yeah.
There's David there. So me and Liam are a great commentating pair. I agree. I think that's interesting. And Milan in saying David and Liam for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think that one's a guarantee one. Any other pairings that you want to throw out there?
I'd like to see Haman and Roland.
I was going to say that as well. That's an interesting one.
Haman and Roland, I think, would be quite interesting together. I don't know who would take lead commentator role in that one. I think it's quite neutral. I think Haman would fight for it and Roland would try and... I think they'd both do match point.
Yeah, maybe. I was going to say maybe Megan and Nicolette as well.
Yeah, we've got the compliment king in saying maybe Ben and David for musical purposes.
Yeah, we're more than welcome. I go a bit off. I think David corrupts me a bit when he's on stream. He doesn't rein me. I think you rein me in a bit more, whereas David just I go off on too many tangents with him. So I feel that the match gets neglected when me and David are on there. It's just more musical based. So
yeah, the compliment king wants a sing off. Maybe that can be arranged on the Patreon.
Well,
Ben versus David. And also on the Patreon, we've got Gary asking for us to film our morning routine. So sign up to the Patreon. Ben's going to do a video one Monday morning of his morning routine for you all to watch.
It's 9:30. Right. Yeah, we've got some musical talent on the channel, though. Obviously, we've got Cavi as well. He's just come in. He obviously is a musician as well. We've got David. We've got myself. So maybe there'll be with Liam as well. He's obviously done his World Cup song. Maybe he'll come in and we'll do like a whole thing, a whole shebang. Who knows?
Next question. What part of his tennis does Ben need to work on the most in order to beat JG?
You go first because you probably know.
Oh no, this is
more.
for you. This is what you need to do. This is directed purely for you. What do you need to do to improve your game to beat me? I love, by the way, how they know that you need to improve something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. My main thing I think I need to improve would be there's two things that come to my mind straight away. Fitness straight away. That's the one. If I could run for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours straight, I think I'd be able to get a lot more balls back in court.
Agreed.
And second one, put away balls that are just round in and around the service box, because if I can't do that, then I don't even deserve to win any matches. And I've struggled with that. I hit them out, I hit them wide, and I'm just not good at finishing points. So I need to take those opportunities. You whip them away in the corners, and I'm there just like, I'll push it there, but then you still get there, and then it's still a rally, and I could still lose it. So those two things for me.
Yeah, I think fitness would have been my number one thing for you as well.
Definitely.
The other one would be mentality. You've often spoke on the podcast about celebrating second place. I think that is ingrained in you when you play. And if you keep celebrating failures and losing, you'll never, ever beat me. I want to see you on the court a little bit hungrier, a little bit more competitive. And don't get me wrong, there's been days where we've both been playing and we're more thinking about the pint afterwards than the game.
I'm always thinking about the pint.
Maybe I feel for you that comes a little bit earlier. Like it comes about half an hour before it comes for me. But there has been times where we have played and I've just not wanted to really be there, and I'd rather be in the pub. I think that happens to you every time.
But I think with the fact that we know that that's coming afterwards every time is negative for me on the court, because I know that I want to pack up like half hour before you're thinking about packing up. And if I knew that I was just going to meet you, tennis, home again, and this was just going on some sort of record, that I know that's all we're meeting for is just for tennis. There's no social. We don't even speak when we're there. We just meet, we play, and we go home. I'd probably be more serious. I think I'd probably have more like, why am I traveling all this way? I don't just to get beaten and go home. So more accountable I need to be.
Good night, Goldflake. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Lovely chatting to you. Thanks for your question as well. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Next question we've got is, do you guys, so this one's from Detless Conch, saying, do you guys think that Djokovic can bounce back next year? And will Nadal win a slam? Or will we have a new slam winner? And if, which tournament?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, yeah, Djokovic can definitely bounce back. I feel that this year he didn't really. He bounced back when he didn't play slams. I mean, he got to play Wimbledon. He won Wimbledon, and he wasn't able to play the US Open, but he won everything pretty much after the US Open. I feel that he's still there. He's still at the top of the game. I would love to see
Maybe you can remind us of your 4 slam winners, because that will answer everything.
Well, I've got Djokovic to win like Wimbledon and Australian Open. I think probably most people have that, though. It's a bit, little bit boring. No, only you don't have Djokovic winning any slams next year. I think we've got a lot of heat in the comments.
So you've
probably
got
lost a
Djokovic
few
winning
subs.
them 2. What about the next 2?
Well,
Alcaraz.
Where we go? Alcaraz, and I've gone for Sinner for the US Open. I went for
Alcaraz, Sinner, Djokovic. For me, I've got Alcaraz, Zverev, Nadal, and Felix winning Grand Slams next year. Them 4.
Zverev. And
yeah,
Zverev.
I said Zverev.
I do. I didn't hear you say
I
that.
started with Zverev.
Did you? Oh, that's
Or
weird.
Alcaraz, Zverev, Nadal, Felix.
Going in a different order again. Okay, no worries.
Okay.
It's getting confusing now.
Next question, Jamie Drummer, another member, saying if you could both improve one of Nadal and Djokovic's biggest weakness each, who would be the better player afterwards? This is a great question. Thanks, Jamie.
Which one would you improve first from each player? That would be the what do you
if
think
you could improve one of Nadal and Djokovic's biggest weakness, so let's try and decipher what Nadal and Djokovic's biggest weaknesses are.
what a horrible
There's
question.
so many to choose from.
I mean, there's only two that sort of come to mind over the past year or two. Smash for Djokovic, second serve for Nadal. That's it. Like, I don't know what else is really bad from Nadal. Well, his foot, like improve your foot. I don't know.
Are you talking about Nadal right now? Because one thing what I think Nadal could improve on is his pace.
Oh yeah, but come on, he's getting old.
What is it? I mean, we're talking about now.
Well,
I'm telling you, listen, Rafa.
that's a hard thing to say. Get younger. What? You think it should just improve your age? There you go.
Well, we talk about right now. If Rafa got faster,
you can't say improve your age.
If Rafa got faster, he's going to win a few more than one slam.
Improve the age of your bones and how well your body is. Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. Just what shot or what one element of their game. I think not just pace though. I think that one is just conducive with.
Okay,
age.
we'll go with yours then. So with the overheads, if Djokovic improved that, or if Rafa improved his second serves, I think Rafa would be the better player.
I feel it's still like neck and neck. I don't feel there's much between either of them, to be honest. It on the surfaces, like Rafa on his day on clay still will just have Djokovic's number. That's the problem. Like I know that Djokovic, if he catches Rafa or if he plays his real top like clay court game and Rafa is just slightly off, he can catch
if
Rafa.
you improve Rafa's serve, mate, Djokovic isn't getting close to him.
Rafa's serve is good though. Like
imagine Rafa had the Kyrgios serve.
Oh, God, imagine. It's like saying, imagine Djokovic had Isner's serve or something. It's just ridiculous.
I prefer Kyrgios' serve to Isner's, but
Djokovic's serve is ridiculous anyway. So it's just
I think we'll move on to the next one. We've answered that one.
It's a bit of that one's just like go on.
Oh, so next one. How disappointed are you guys that this podcast didn't exist 10 years ago when the big four were all in their prime? And I'm going to get this one to Ben because he did mention this in the last year. You definitely spoke about this to me in 2022 at one point.
Yeah, I am disappointed. It was one of those things that obviously when we were starting the podcast, and it's something that we do still speak about as well, the fear of the big three disappearing. Well, it's the big two now disappearing. I would have loved to have had it when I was watching Murray in the US Open final, I'm sounding like a bit of a Brit lover, but back when Murray was competitive with the big three, I would have loved it when we got to see all of that. Even the finals, he didn't do well against Federer and stuff. It was still great to see a bit of British hopefulness in Grand Slam finals, and I was really invested in those with Murray, even though I don't even think you would have wanted to watch me watching Andy Murray during those periods.
I think we would. It would have been really.
It was like you watching West Ham.
No, me watching Rafa.
No,
you with Andy Murray.
I've watched you watch West Ham, and it would be like that. Like the way that you react to some of those stuff. That's how it was watching. It's infuriating when you're watching and you're just thinking how you were playing so well a second ago and now it's all going terribly. What are you doing, Andy? Stop it.
If we did start 10 years ago, could we be on 1 million subs by now?
Yeah, for sure. I feel that Murray would have helped us get much higher. And I
think you're banking so much on Murray, man. What? You're missing the most important thing. And that would have been watching Roger Federer in his prime play tennis. We never got to see Roger Federer in his prime on Game to Love.
Not on his
No, we never did. We never
No,
got to see
never.
prime Roger Federer on
No, we
Game
didn't.
to
It was
Love.
2019, wasn't it? Was the last time?
Exactly. And I think we even missed the final of Wimbledon. Wasn't streaming then.
No, we weren't streaming.
So, and that was definitely not his prime. He, of course, did very well to get to that final. It wasn't his prime. But imagine watching the Federer Nadal famous match at Wimbledon and doing a watch along for it.
2008, mate.
There's just so many big matches which it was missed, but that's life. We didn't do it 10 years ago. We didn't. We're doing it now.
We got to remember that.
But it is sad because it would have been fun.
Ages as well. So I think that comes into a factor as well.
Ben would have been put in jail, I reckon, if we was doing it 10 years ago.
Maybe I would.
I'm sure you would have been.
It would have been like the weirdest podcast ever. It would have been like, what is this weird channel?
Why's Ben on it with his son?
Probably. I'd have been on it with your dad, probably. You'd have to come in later and just do it.
So next one is, what are your final Grand Slam winning figures for the following players? Alcaraz, Medi, Steph, Sinner, Ruud, Zverev. This is impossible. So we're just going to throw some names. I'll give me a number for each one. So Alcaraz.
12.
16. Medi.
6.
8. Steph.
3.
1. Sinner.
1.
2. Ruud.
3.
2. Zverev.
5.
4.
Make sure someone clips that. We're gonna need that.
That would be that's a good little thing. I'm glad we've got that. I'm gonna remember that 56th minute of this Q&A. We spoke about our final Grand Slam winning figures. And if we can get close in, say, 15 years' time, that'll be amazing. Moving on to the next one. So another Jamie drama. He definitely got his money's worth for these questions. So who do you guys think will become the next dominant men's player on the Wimbledon grass courts? And I don't mean Kyrgios, who, if he won it, we'd never see him again. Yeah, that's a good point. I think if Kyrgios was to win Wimbledon, he would probably retire. I think for me it's easy because I've got him winning Wimbledon this year. That's going to be Felix Auger-Aliassime.
I'm sorry. Felix Auger-Aliassime. Yeah.
Auger. How'd you say it? Auger.
Auger.
Do you know what? We've not done tennis commentary. I forgot how to say a lot of tennis players' names. Gary's going to absolutely hate me.
Yeah, mate. Gary's going to...
But I can say Rybakina.
Was it?
Wait, let me just practice one more time.
Rybakina. Or is it Rybakina? Or which one is it?
Rybakina.
Rybakina. Rybakina. Okay, well, that's a bit off the topic.
So who's your player?
It is Wimbledon related, I guess, saying Rybakina. Who's my player? I think this is going to sound weird. I think Alcaraz is going to do really well at Wimbledon. I feel that it's just going to take a bit of time, but I feel that he's actually going to be a multi-surface player, and Alcaraz is going to come good at Wimbledon. We saw flashes of it. Sinner was the guy who took him out, but Sinner was playing incredibly well. I think that we could see...
Not Berrettini?
I mean, I don't want to say that he's missed the boat, but...
Okay, like your one's Alcaraz. We're almost up to an hour, so we're going to have to just do it. So your Alcaraz, mine's Felix. Next one, Rod Laver saying questions for JG.
Read more.
Are there no questions for Ben? Are they all for JG?
Yeah, I think everyone's just wants to ask you questions.
Which one would you choose if you had to? Rafa end with the most slams, but Alcaraz and Iga don't ever win another slam. Rafa and Nole end on equal number of slams, and Alcaraz and Iga only win 2 to 3 more slams each. Nole ends with more slams than Rafa, but Alcaraz and Iga both go on to surpass them both and become the GOATs.
Whoa,
what a question.
Which one is it?
Listen, that is a quality question.
I mean, tell us in the live chat which one. If you're a Rafa fan and you're in the live chat, which would you pick? Like, help JG out here on this one, because I feel that this is a horrible like conundrum. Do you go for solo glory of Rafa? Like who?
I go for number one.
Oh no, he's just killed off two of our hopefuls for the next 20 years.
I would sacrifice it all for Rafa to win with the most slams. And that is disgusting of me to say. I'm embarrassed even uttering it on this
Hell.
podcast, but I'd go for number one.
I'm just disgusted.
I'm sorry, I'm a Rafa fan first. And I want, the compliment king. Solo, Rafa, glory. I'm going for it.
You
I'm
just
doubling
killed
down. I'm doubling down, Ben. Number
Iga
one.
and Alcaraz have just
JB saying no hesitation, number one. Yeah, I'm going for it. Number one. Done.
Alcaraz and Iga careers are over just then.
What one would you go for?
Well, it's not the same for me.
Give it for this in this scenario for you. If it was for you,
Got to go for number 3, isn't I?
no, you'd go for number two probably.
No, number 3 for sure.
Oh, you want Alcaraz and Iga to win with the most slams?
Yeah, I want to witness history again. I want to be there for the ride. I want to be there to see the whole thing eclipse what we've already witnessed. If we've seen something that is this incredible with the big three, I want to see it again.
I agree with Jamie actually. Rafa is my childhood. You're not killing that child inside me. There is like something. It's just not fair. I'm sorry. I have to pick it, and I'm gonna move on.
Okay.
So the next one is from Raging Bill. Should Serena come out of retirement or stay retired?
Oof. Good question, Bill. For me, as much as it pains me to say it, like, I know it was dramatic at the US Open, but I don't think it was like good enough standard to warrant coming back again. I'd say stay retired.
I agree completely, mate. I don't think she should come out of retirement. I don't think it's good enough to win a Grand Slam or win any tournament at that. I think some of the younger women on tour would beat her. And I don't want her to... She'll never ruin her legacy because she's that much of a GOAT. It's impossible for her to do that. But I just don't want to see her playing like Andy Murray is playing right now.
Oh, low blow.
No, I know that's just how I feel about it. But of course, it's up to her. I'll respect it. And if she does come back, we'll be covering it, no doubt, and be fascinated to see how she gets on and cheering her on. But I don't think it's the right decision for her to make. But of course, it's up to her. Jamie in with another one. Who do you think would have a better career if they swap sports? Ronaldo, Messi, or Rafa Nole?
Rafa and Nole for sure.
Definitely. Easy. I'm sorry, Messi is a little bit too small. Make a case for Argentina and Schwartzman, but I'm sorry, no.
Who would you compare Ronaldo to for like a tennis player?
Martin Fucsovic. They've got the abs. Or Dimitrov.
Yeah.
Dimitrov is quite fit as well. Like he runs marathons, I think.
Ooh.
So next one. Do you think Nadal is the GOAT? If not, why? Yes, definitely the greatest of all time.
I don't even want to cover this. I don't know. Like, let's just wait until the end. Stop asking.
As Gary would say, let's just enjoy them all.
Yeah,
all
exactly. Like, we don't know. They're not retired yet. Let's discuss it then.
What's his name? G. Abraham 12 says, why do women have to receive serve from men in mixed doubles?
I like this question. I think it's a good question. Yeah, it is a bizarre thing, and it takes me back to when I played mixed doubles on grass when I was a bit younger, and I didn't really understand. Like there was like sort of unwritten rules in these like grass court tournaments that I was playing, and I played mixed doubles, and then the first serve I did to one of the girls, I aced them, and everybody was like, ooh, like it was like a bad, like I'd done something really bad. And then I was like, what's happened? And then they were like, no, you got to serve a little bit softer to the girls. And I'm like, what? What's the point of this? Like, are we not trying to win? I didn't understand that was, I've never played mixed doubles before. It obviously doesn't happen in professional tennis, but this is the sort of thing that I thought about as soon as I saw that question, and I sort of get it, because if you get somebody like Well, imagine John Isner been against like one of your like female like
Sarah
opposition.
Rani.
Oh well, I mean, just tiny, just can barely like reach out wide. Imagine the curler out wide, just never get into it. Or imagine it's a kick serve, just goes
Yeah, but
over her.
that's what mixed doubles is. I think it's I don't know. It's just that's what the sport is. Why do women have to receive? I mean, because they're playing mixed doubles. That's the answer to that question for me.
Yeah,
And
I guess you're right. I mean, I understand the question, but it just for me, yeah, it seems weird that
yeah,
you can have.
Kathy sums it up. If you want to play, you play by the rules. If not, play singles or
It's
play
like
doubles with someone of the same sex.
Is Kyrgios playing with anybody in mixed doubles? Out of curiosity.
He played.
Like
He did it
Tomjanovic?
with Venus once, didn't he? Or was it
Yeah.
Serena? He definitely did it with one of the Williams sisters. He played doubles. I think it was at
Possibly.
Wimbledon.
He should play with Tomjanovic, I think. That'd be
He
good.
did it with. I think he might have been Venus at Wimbledon. Kyrgios and Venus played.
Yeah,
There was talk of him playing with Osaka as well. Not sure if that ever happened.
not sure.
But yeah, just
remember.
one story with me as well. I have played mixed doubles before against a lady who wasn't very good at tennis either. So that on top of it, she was more of a. She's not a beginner, but she wasn't great. And I'll be totally honest. It was at a tennis social. So before that, I played a set against this guy who's the best at the club. Completely annihilated me, and my head was a little bit rattled. Like I was a bit not fuming because I'd lost. I'd expected to
You
lose.
took it out on this poor
Yeah,
lady.
I did take it out a little bit. No, I didn't take it out in a bad way. But when she served, I just stepped in and just levered every single one down the line.
Horrible.
But of course, the partner was standing there, but he's at the net.
Surely the same thing should be like.
I wasn't hitting it at her. I was hitting it hard down the line, but where the doubles player was, and he just couldn't get anywhere near any of the volleys because I was hitting it as hard as I could.
But should it be the same thing? Like, because I know we're saying in this, it's the similar sort of thing with should they be receiving serve? Should you be at the net if the man is receiving serve? Because if you're going to try and hit one at full pace, and you're there trying to volley it, it's quite intimidating sometimes, even when it's just like men's doubles when they hit it full belt. I mean, you saw what TFO tried to do to Federer, tried to take his head off in the in his last ever match.
But still, I think that's not so bad because the female tennis players are pretty good and their reactions are great. So
you've traumatized the poor woman.
No, it wasn't as bad.
She's never stepped on a tennis court again, I heard.
No. She's actually improved. But let's move on.
She's improved.
Jamie drama. Hopefully she's not watching. Next one is I'm sure she's not because she doesn't even know who I am really. So people have said that Messi needed to win the World Cup to be considered the GOAT above CR7. Does this also, by the way, that's not true. Messi was the GOAT before. Does this also apply to tennis where Djokovic needs to win the gold medal to be considered above Rafa?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I think Djokovic needs the most slams to be considered the greatest of all time. But that's what I think.
He's going to be frustrated about that Olympics thing for sure. Like it's going to be grinding on him. The thing that's going to be grinding on him more is the fact that next one's in Paris. I think that will. It's going to infuriate. He'll definitely be up for it. I'm sure Djokovic will be in that one, but he still has a chance to get one. I think. Like we never know. Will Rafa enter that? I hope he does as well. I hope we get Rafa Djokovic final. Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see another one or two.
Imagine that the final for the gold medal match, you get Rafa versus Djokovic.
I just want to see something Grand Slams, to be honest. Anyway, the next part of this Q&A is going to be some live questions. We've been speaking over an hour.
Ooh.
So this is going to be some quick fire live questions. So get them in the live chat right now. I'll put a message in there. We will be answering any questions. So if you are listening and you've not had the opportunity to ask a question prior, please ask right now and we will answer them. The first one coming in is from Ray Cornford. And he's saying, we had a 2022 review for the ATP. What about the WTA other than Iga? Well, what we did this year, Ray, is rather than a WTA review, we just went with the year of Iga because 2022 on the WTA was pretty one-sided, and I don't think anyone can dispute that. It was the year of Iga, so we just focused one on that. I guess we could, if we have time, do one on the other WTA players, but I don't think with our schedules it's going to work. So we just prioritized the year of Iga.
Yeah, we were really pushed for time. I mean, it's been a real tough slog to even get stuff out in December, but we're trying our best. Hence, this one's a bit late as well.
Yeah, so let's prioritize the members in the chat. We've got Gary, not just any member of the year, by the way, for 2022.
Gary, let's get some
crown. And he's saying, there we go, Ben.
There he is, Gary. Oh, it's on loop.
So he's asking, talk about how you came together and decided to create a channel devoted to tennis.
Wow. I mean, I feel like we may have spoken about it before, but for Gary's sake, we will talk about it again. Obviously, myself, JG, we both work together, and we have worked together for a few years. And yeah, we were always arguing about tennis. We would sit there. We weren't even watching like mainly ATP stuff. We were watching like challenger stuff. We were arguing about who was going to win challenger matches, all this type of thing. And we were just sat there, and then we came up with a few topics, and we've discussed them recently, like what's more important, final of a Grand Slam or winning like a Masters, that type of thing. And we were constantly having those things and just arguing about it. And he was like, no, that's a loser's mentality. And I was like, shut up, who's going to remember the Masters champion? And we were just doing that on and off at the pub, like another pint, like more arguments, we were just like, we'll probably just start like a podcast. And then I had to try and force him like into a meeting room after work one day. I don't know. You were just like, are we actually going to do this or something? I was like, look, just go. If you want to go back and watch the first one, it's a bit cringe, but we were just like, it was nearly 3 years ago now.
Yeah, I didn't really want to be there at all. Ben forced me into this room and just told me to speak about tennis, which I did. I wasn't used to speaking about it to an audience, even though there was no one there. I was conscious in my mind that it was being recorded.
Yeah.
Now I don't think about it. I mean, I just feel like I'm talking to you, Ben, and there's obviously my friends. I feel like a lot of the people in the live chat are friends because I'm very familiar with their names and who they are, their personalities, what players they like, and their stories behind them. So it's not just really names. You guys are part of the channel. You're part of the room. And I just feel very comfortable in this environment now. But then I certainly wasn't comfortable at all. I wasn't very good. I wasn't a natural when it comes to speaking at all. I'm not now, really. But I just enjoy talking about tennis. And yeah, we just went from there. And the channel's gone from strength to strength. I think having COVID and being isolated at home, it gave us a lot of time to put into the channel because we wasn't able to really go out and do anything else. So since then, it's just continued. And yeah, we love doing it. And I think 2023 is going to be bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. This year's been an incredible year for growth. It's been a stressful year for the channel, on stream and off stream. But I can't agree with you more. Like that whole pandemic period, people either go into a bit of I don't even want to say it. Like I don't even know if we would have done it if we hadn't have started it before it all kicked in. That's the problem.
Probably wouldn't have. So that wasn't the reason we started it, really.
No, we started it literally in January, and then in what was it, March?
Yeah,
the pandemic hit, and then
Indian Wells got cancelled in March, and that's when everything sort of spiraled out of control.
Yeah, it was mad, but yeah, that was what sort of, and then it kicked us into gear. We were just sort of right. We're working from home, and now we're just going to do 2 jobs at once and work round the clock. And that's what we did.
Next question, her saying, should women play 5-set matches? Not for me.
No.
Okay.
I don't think
Ashley saying, when do you think Rafa will retire?
Oh, horrible question.
It's going to be a sad day when it happens for sure. I think he'll retire in 2024.
What year are we in? Yeah, after the Olympics. He'll do the Olympics, then retire.
That's the next one. So we've got David in saying favorite game of all time. Could be a board game, video game, app, etc.
Ooh. Board game video. Very different styles. I was in a pub earlier on today.
Maybe do your favorite board game and then video game.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And then app.
Board game. I mean, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. I'd say Scrabble, mate. I love a bit of Scrabble.
Mine's Cluedo in terms of board game.
Ooh.
Or the other one, I really like Connect 4. And in fact, I would like to challenge any member or any person listening to this to a Connect 4 match. I am an absolute genius when it comes to Connect 4, and very few people can beat me.
What about tic-tac-toe? Are you good on that?
No, but Connect 4, I'm extremely good. I mean, I played my uncle and granddad, but I was in Italy. There wasn't really much to do. There was no Wi-Fi or anything. Or
no, that we find out why he became so good. JG is actually a
all the time, and I think there was a record. I had like a 66-3 record against my uncle.
He is
incredible.
Well, if you want to compare JG to chess standards, he is a Connect 4 grandmaster. That is the one.
I just think I'm brilliant at Connect 4. I don't know what it is about it.
Wow, that's good. What about video game?
Favorite one would probably be Fortnite, to be honest.
Well, for me, I think I owned every single FIFA up until like about, I don't know, whenever I stopped owning a computer. So FIFA for me.
And favorite app was Paper Toss on the iPod Touch.
Ooh, Paper Toss. Interesting one. I think I played a bit of the this table tennis one that's on the iPhone. I don't mind a bit of that.
Okay, Compliment King's in saying, which is more important, Rafa winning tour finals or Novak winning the gold medal?
Oh, that's a good question. Really good.
Question.
I love that question.
I think Rafa winning tour finals is more important than Novak winning a gold medal.
Yeah, I feel that the traditional tennis fans can sort of separate the Olympics away from the rest of the tour. So I think that's why, because the Olympics is sort of just like an additional, it's a bit of an extracurricular activity for me.
I don't think it's really necessary in tennis to have the Olympics. So
it's not.
I would put more emphasis on the ATP Tour finals. I don't think Rafa's ever going to win it, though. He's just not. It's not his surface, man. With Zverev, Medvedev, and Djokovic there.
Yeah, it's tough.
Make a case for even Felix now. It's going to be tough for him.
Holger, maybe.
Yep. So Milan's in saying, do you guys think we're going to have another late bloomer this season? Someone around the age of 25 or older breaking through to the top. My bet would be on Roman Sefulin. Really good. Great question. Really good. And good name you put forward. We definitely will do, because every year we do. A few years back, we had, of course, Aslan Karatsev, which was brilliant. Who's you're going to be 25 or older, who's going to just flourish this year out of nowhere?
That's really tough. I mean, 25.
There will be one. There is going to be a player who does it, Ben.
Right. Well, allow me to. I'm just going to go and have a little. I'm going to have a look, because I can't just pull a name out of thin air and just think that, oh yeah, this is going to be the one that just suddenly comes to fruition just out of the blue. So you said 25, was it, and above? 25
or older.
Oh, my word. So, well, Taylor Fritz is just past 25. I don't know.
I think. No, but it needs to be someone a bit out of it. I think like Greek sport went a bit mad, didn't he, and got quite good.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
No, I'm not saying him. I'm going to go with, I think, Alex Molchan. He's 50th in the world, 25 years old. He could just do something mad and just really break into the top 20.
Yeah, potentially.
Molchan's my pick.
I'm going to go with Nuno Borges.
Okay.
I think where's he ranked at the moment? Let me just find out. Borges, okay, 112th in the world at the moment. He's 25, so
okay,
could crack.
I'm interested to see now how Borges and who's my player, Molchan, get on.
I just forgot him already.
They're going to play next year. Probably, I bet they get drawn against each other. Australian Open. First round.
Don't say that.
Right. Tiffany's in saying, who do you see, if anyone, a potential rival for Iga? If not next year, then in the coming years? I think it's going to be King Zheng and Coco Gauff.
I think it's going to be a Czech player, if I'm perfectly honest. I think that they're all coming through like wildfire at the moment. I'm interested in some of these real youngsters as well. I think if they hit the ground running, Fruhvirtova, I know I've said it a lot of times. I'm interested in the Czechs, the Fruhvirtova sisters, Sarah Belchek as well. She's another one to keep an eye on as well. Noskova, the one that you've pointed out. I think that she will potentially get a lot better in the next 2 years. I think that there's some real great stuff coming out of the Czech Republic. So keep an eye on all of those.
Sean Power says, do you think Ash Barty has let down the tennis world? Because not many great players come around in each generation. No, I don't think she's let down the tennis world. She's done everything in tennis. She's been a great ambassador to the sport. And ultimately, it was her choice, her body. She wanted to have kids. She wanted to get out of the sport. Fair play to her. She's done what she wants to do. Whether I think she should come back or not, it's another question. I think she should come back. And I think when she does come back, she's going to win some big things because she's that good.
I think that she can do whatever she wants. And that's the thing with Ash Barty is she could probably go and start playing any sport and she'll probably become the number one in whatever she does. And that's how dedicated she is to sport and how she has like a sort of religious work ethic. She's just a technical genius when it comes to sport. So those type of people, everybody had them when they went to school, didn't they? Like you're at school with someone and they're just like, oh, yeah, he's good at like golf, he's good at football, he's good at tennis, he's good at everything, he's good at track and field, he's good at everything. Like there's always one person like that. I think Ash Barty was that person at her school.
Big Al says, do you think top singles players should play doubles? No, I don't think they should. Reason being is if you're a top singles player and you go deep in a Grand Slam, most likely you pull out of the doubles. I know Krejcikova won both, but that's on the women's. On the men's, it's a lot tougher. And we'll see is sort of Kyrgios at Wimbledon gets all the way to the final and then pulls out the doubles. And I just don't think that's nice because it's disrespecting one event or one, it's not event, is it? One, what's it called? One
title?
No.
What?
Discipline over the other.
Discipline. Say some discipline.
No, so what do you think?
With what? With Ash Barty?
Can you not read the question? You didn't know what I was saying.
No, I was in another place. Do you think top singles players should play doubles? Essentially, no.
Okay, so you agree with me. Next question is, we've got, where is it? Okay, Gary. So Joe G, who is really going to win Roland Garros in 2023?
I like this.
I think Nadal is really going to win Roland Garros. If not, he'll have to be the safe bet of Carlos Alcaraz.
Why not Djokovic?
He could do.
What about
then
Zverev?
Then he'd be chasing Rafa for the GOAT race. Can't have that, can we?
What about Zverev? Well, Dominic Thiem might make a comeback.
Well, he's not asking you, is he? He's asking me. And I'm saying Rafa's going to win it. If not, I'll go Alcaraz.
He says really, though, in inverted commas.
Really?
Okay. Gary's trying to stoke you up there.
You got Kathy and saying Connect 4. That's a dinosaur game. I think I'm quite behind on the comments. Just trying to get closer to the top.
Dinosaur game. I like it.
I can't see any other ones. And we keep going. There's people just talking. There's no more questions. We've got Tanya saying, hello, I'm sitting here looking like a beetroot from yesterday's shenanigans at the beach. And all I want to know is, are you guys coming to Australia? P.S. Bring sun cream. Listen, Tanya, I would love to come, but it won't be happening this year.
Sadly not.
One day, but not this year.
Yeah. I mean, we will be there eventually, but it's a long way to travel. A lot of work commitments. Sign up to the Patreon. Maybe we'll be there in the next couple of years.
Compliment King is saying, JG, Ben looks a little beer buzzed.
Yeah, I've been out all day, mate. I mean, I've been out. I've been to a few old pubs in London as well. 1761, the pub that I was in earlier. God, I mean, that doesn't... and I had Scrabble in the corner. That's probably what triggered my memory for that other question.
We've got Eteri Tennis in. How are we
Oh.
doing? Saying, JG, you still think team will win Wimbledon? Please answer my question. No, don't think he's going to win Wimbledon. However, if he didn't get injured that year, you never know what could have happened. I know you are someone who probably just goes by the stats. No, Djokovic must win Wimbledon because that's what happens. But listen, things can happen in sport. Team, at the time when I said it, it was, of course, a crazy selection, but he was doing very well. And then he went on to win the US Open a few months after that. So,
Milan insane. Do you guys watch basketball? And is it popular in the UK? Well, you'll be better to foot this question. You're more of a basketball fanatic than I am.
I watch it from time to time, but not often. And it is popular in the UK. One of the top 5 sports in the UK, definitely.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
What
are the top 5 sports?
Football, golf. I'm not even sure if I put tennis in the top 5. I think basketball's bigger than tennis in the UK. Well, tennis because it's Wimbledon and all of that. So I said basketball, did I? And I don't know. What's the last sport? Formula One's quite big.
Yeah, I mean massive.
Formula One's big, but I'd put basketball up there. It's a big sport in the UK. We've got another one. How many Ballon d'Ors will Mbappe win? I reckon he'll win
4.
I was going to say the same.
Safe bet.
We've got David's got a question about snooker. Who's winning the Masters and the World Snooker Championship? I'm not as knowledgeable in that. I think everyone wants Ronnie to win.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be supporting. But I'm going to go Judd Trump to win.
This one's
not sure which one. He'll win the Masters, Mark Williams, and Trump in the World Championships.
Donald.
No, not Donald.
Got Tiffany and saying, are you guys looking forward to the new Netflix tennis docuseries? And do you think it will make an impact like the Formula One series did? That's a really good question, Tiffany. Thank you for that.
I think it will, because I think they are very well made. And the Drive to Survive one, like you pointed out, did make a massive impact on the viewership of Formula One. I think everyone was a little bit more involved in Formula One, myself included. I didn't even watch all of the Drive to Survive. I did watch some episodes from time to time. I never got to finish it all, but it definitely made it exciting seeing the close of that Formula One season with Lewis Hamilton and the name's just gone out of my head. Max Verstappen. I mean, it was brilliant. So much drama. And probably the only reason I was watching that was because of the Drive to Survive. I think hopefully it does the same thing for tennis because we're in desperate need for it. We need some big marketing in tennis to get the popularity of the sport back out there. And I'm hoping this documentary can do that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the main thing that this will bring out is some of the character of some of the players, because I know that we've seen a lot of, everybody knows Kyrgios is a character, or everybody knows that like certain players are characters, but we might get to see that, well, Andre Rublev or Yannick Sinner or someone's got a cheeky side to them off the court. Like we might get to see like some of that off court stuff that will really make you warm to some players that we don't get to see normally. And that's the one thing that I'm really looking forward to from this documentary series. And I think it can only do good for the sport, if I'm honest.
Compliment King says, other than the UK, which of the other countries' slams would you two want to visit and broadcast from? So last year, me and Ben went to Zagreb and we watched the Zagreb Challenger, and we was doing some broadcasts of Rome and a bit of Madrid, the back end of Madrid as well, in Zagreb. Next year, I'm sure we'll be doing some kind of tennis trip of some kind.
Yeah.
Let us know. Where do you want us to go to? What event would you like to see Game to Love represent? And maybe it is an event near you, so we can meet up and have a few beers. It would be awesome to see some of you guys, and let us know where you'd like to go. I don't know at the moment, but somewhere in Europe, I reckon. Again,
I reckon wherever it's warm, JG will be booking the flights. As long as he can wear his shorts, that's all that matters for him.
Gary saying, at what age did each of you fall in love with professional tennis? For me, it was pretty late, and it was my early 20s.
For me, probably a lot younger. I'd say around about 12, 13, something like that. So yeah, it was a very, very early doors when I started playing tennis, to be honest, and I started watching it on TV. But I was playing squash before that, or racquetball, as you know, in the US.
Inter Atiri saying, now a question for both of you. I don't believe Medvedev will win another Grand Slam. Do you agree or not? No, I think he definitely will win another Grand Slam.
He's so good. I mean, are you joking?
Can't judge the stuff last year. I know last year was disappointing with only the 2 titles, but he is a quality player. I think when his kid gets a little bit older, he'll be more settled in himself and he'll be able to put his energy back into tennis again. I think he lost a little bit of it last year with the disappointment of him reaching that Grand Slam final in Australia, losing to Rafa in the way he did, took the stuffing out of him with the crowd going against him. But he's going to be back and he will win Grand Slams. I'm sure of it.
For sure. Like, I think that last year he had a real rough go of it. He lost that final. He lost his love for tennis. His home nation went to war, all this type of stuff. He became world number 1 and it would never really seem to ever settle there. I feel that 2023, I've said it before, it can only get better for Medvedev, for sure.
Sean's asking about the Chinese players betting scandal in snooker. My granddad was talking about this with me over Christmas. This was a topic we had.
I don't know anything on this.
We spoke about this about 3 days ago. I think there's like 8 players who are being investigated regarding this. I think with snooker, it's so easy to fix frames.
You suck.
Yeah, certainly. And it's so easy to fix frames if you play.
Yeah.
How easy it could be because you can disguise stuff so easily and you can bet on so many little
you can miss a pot easily
parts of the game, and it's easily it's just something which is going to be very difficult for them to crack out because I think you're always going to get it in snooker.
Well, tennis can have the same thing,
but not like snooker. No way, no. It can't. With snooker, you could really easily disguise it. We spoke about this the other day at Christmas.
Yeah, I mean I hate all this type of thing in individual sports, especially. It's the thing they need to crack down on, but it's so hard to crack down on because how do you know when somebody's playing to their full potential or not? You just never do.
Gary's saying, "Come to Miami, and I'll be there for sure." You never know; might be on the cards.
We're going to Miami. Welcome to Miami. Gary's gonna have a big sign up at the airport. Ben and JG.
Oh, that'd be funny in his shorts.
We've
got John Silkin.
Oi, Silky.
Looks like we've got all of his subs in the live chat as well. He's saying JG's been a passionate tennis fan since 2019. Oh, cheers for that input, John. Let's move on to the next one. Where is the next one?
I don't know.
Interior saying, JJ, I need to say you truly are brave to not believe Djokovic will not win a single Grand Slam title in 2023.
It's brave.
Brave, stupid, call it what you want. You've got to make a prediction. And that's what I've gone with. A lot of snooker chat going around right now.
Everyone loves
shout out to Mitchell for the super sticker. Let us know, Mitch, if you have a question for us and we will answer it. We do really appreciate all of the super
chat. Have a player button if you want.
Or a question. We've got Johnny in again. What's he saying? JG's been a fan of tennis for such a long time. He even remembers Tsitsipas when he burst onto the scene. I mean, Alcaraz, all them years ago when he started playing. Well, feels like yesterday.
John was watching Fred Perry knock up on the practice court.
Yeah, not quite as old as John, of course. He was a big fan of Margaret Court. I think he's still got some photos in black and white, of course, across his bedroom.
He was courting her, I think. Anyway.
Interior said, if I get the prediction right, then I'm truly a genius. Well, I already know that, but it would be great.
Any others? Any more?
I think we're coming to the end. I think we are coming to the end. It's been over an hour and a half. I will answer one more question. It is Ashley saying, will you be applying for press passes for Wimby again next year? Unfortunately, we won't be. Reason being, it was a great experience. We loved it to death. We'd hope to do something like that again at another event, but with Wimbledon, unfortunately, I don't think it will ever happen because it means we're unable to do any content regarding Wimbledon if we get press passes there. So we can't do any watch-alongs. Even if we're doing it from home, we're still unable to cover the event at all if we get press passes. We didn't know that at the time. It's disappointing, and we've learned our lesson. So we just won't be able to go again for press passes, unfortunately.
But we might still be able to go just as guests and tell you our experiences.
Yeah. I think we'll wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for joining. If you haven't already, make sure, hit that like button. Let's end with the Christmas bells. Because this was a Christmas episode.
Hey! Oh, Rudolph! Santa's coming. Is it JG?
Yeah, well, it's been a great Christmas episode. Thank you for joining our Christmas Q&A. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Patreon if you want us to be able to do this full time. Join the membership as well. That helps us no end. And the countdown's on now for the Australian Open. Some of you joined us last year at the Australian Open. It was the first time you ever saw Game to Love. It's going to be big. It's going to be great. Me and Ben are refreshed. We're ready for the tennis season. We have all of our energy back. I'm sure we won't be saying this the second week of the Australian Open after about 8 hours sleep. But we're going to be there, and I'm looking forward to all of it. Thanks for all of your questions. They were wonderful. Please hit the subscribe button as well, because when we hit a landmark, we will be doing another Q&A. And good night, everyone. And have a great new year if we don't see you before then.
Happy New Year, guys.
See you then.